George Gordon Noel Byron was born on January 22, 1788 in London, England, to Catherine Gordon, a Scots heiress, and Captain John Byron, a widower with a daughter named Augusta. In the summer of 1789, George and his mother moved to Aberdeen, Scotland. While attending grammar school, he was sensitive to his condition of being born with a clubbed right foot. It was rumored that his nurse, May Gray, made physical advances to him when he was only 9. This experience, and his idealized love for his distant cousins Mary Duff and Margaret Parker, shaped his paradoxical attitudes towards women. In 1798, when his great-uncle passed, leaving Byron to succeed the title of Baron Byron of Rockdale, the passing of his great-uncle left him heir to his wealth, providing Byron funds to be able to get an education. Byron would use this money to enroll into Trinity College, Cambridge, where he eventually acquired a Master's of Arts degree. With skills honed at Trinity College, Byron went on to publish several of his poems. After receiving poor reviews for his volume of poetry in 1807 entitled Hours of Idleness, Byron retreated back to the reviewers by writing a satirical poem in 1809 entitled English Bards and Scotch Reviewers. He received his first literary recognition for this poem after he was able to attack the literature world with satire.
Still must I hear, shall Horace Fitzgerald bawl his creaking couplets in a tavern hall, and I not sing, lest, haply, Scotch reviews should dub me scribbler and denounce my muse. Prepare for rhyme, I'll publish, right or wrong. Fools are my theme, let satire be my song.
By the time he turned 21, Byron was traveling the Mediterranean Sea with his close friend John Hobhouse, a British politician. While sailing the sea to travel to different lands for about 2 years, Byron began writing an autobiographical poem about his reflections on travel. Byron wrote of his battling relationship with a married woman in Malta and visiting Athens, Greece, which made a lasting impression on his mind and character. He delighted in the sunshine and moral tolerance of people. Byron finally arrived to England in July 1811, and within the next 3 weeks his mother would die. Stricken with grief, Byron was still published Childe Harold's Pilgrimage in March 1812.
What is the worst of woes that wait on age? What stamps the wrinkle deeper on the brow? To view each loved one blotted from life's page, and be alone on earth as I am now. Before the chastener humbly let me bow. O'er hearts divided and o'er hosts destroyed. Roll on, vain days, full reckless may ye flow. Since time hath reft whate'er my soul enjoyed, and with the ills of eld mine earlier years loyed.
His poem gained popularity for his ability to provide a poetic travelogue of picturesque lands. It gave vent to the moods of melancholy and disillusionment of the post-revolutionary and Neapolitan eras, and the poem conveyed the disparity between the romantic ideal and the world of reality, a unique achievement in the 19th century verse. While in the midst of celebrating his poetic success and the mourning of his mother's death, Byron became involved in many love affairs, including Catherine Caroline Lamb, Lady Oxford, Lady Frances Webster, and possibly his half-sister Augusta Leigh. To escape the many failed affairs, Byron proposed to Anna Isabel Milbanke in September 1814, and they married January 1815. On December 10th, 1815, Anne gave birth to Augusta Ada Byron, and by January 1816, Anna and the baby left Byron due to his infidelities, financial problems, heavy drinking, and rumors of being the father to Augusta Leigh's daughter, Medora Leigh. After signing separation papers, Byron left England in April 1816 and never returned. Byron then traveled to Geneva, Switzerland, with his friend Percy Bysshe Shelley, his wife Mary, and her stepsister Claire Clairmont, whom Byron had also had an affair with in England and carried his illegitimate daughter named Allegra. During his traveling, Byron was influenced by Shelley to write the third canto to Childe Harold's Pilgrimage in Geneva and the Faustian poetic drama entitled Manfred. While on a trip to Beme's Orland with a Hobhouse, which reflected Byron's brooding sense of guilt and remorse and the wider frustrations of the romantic spirit, doomed by the reflection that man is half dust, half deity, alike unfit to sink or soar. In October 1816, Byron and Hobhouse sailed to Italy, where Byron would begin writing Don Juan, which depicted his love affairs and other sides of Byron's personality.
Nothing so difficult as a beginning, in poesy, unless perhaps the end. For oftentimes when Pegasus seems winning the race, he springs a wing, and down we tend. Like Lucifer when hurled from heaven for sinning, our sin the same, and hard as his to mend, being pride, which leads the mind to soar too far, till a weakness shows us what we are.
He would go on to write 16 cantos before his death and leave the poem unfinished. During his brief life, Lord Byron was involved in publishing a poetic journal, The Liberal, with James Leigh Hunt and Percy Bysshe Shelley. These journals were published between 1822 and 1823 and were written in Italy to avoid being arrested by British officials. The Liberal contained radical thoughts against the British authorities. Lord Byron seemed to have a continual pattern in regards of evoking strong emotion and revolution, displayed by his decision to join the fight with the Greeks in their revolt for independence from the Turks. One of his more notable poems, The Maid of Athens, illustrates his love for the country. Lord Byron, like many, viewed Greece as a pinnacle of the art and literature. Although his help to the cause was through money initially, he would later join the Greek navy to prove himself a poet and a soldier. While waiting for his action in battle, which was delayed through disorganization and lack of troops, Lord Byron would decline in health due to the wet, cold winter and other conditions. While riding in heavy rain on one of those cold days, Lord Byron contracted a fever and subsequently passed away a few days later. Lord Byron died on April 19th, but his poems and legacy carry on for any lover of rich romanticism or deep patriotic poems that leave you spellbound.